Alright. Now, before I go any further, I'd just like to point out that I don't always wear my cap in the house, but the other day my son told me that I needed a USP, and I said, what are you on about? He said, you need a unique selling point. So, this is it. Anyway, let's talk coronavirus. I was hoping, with Leigh being a Tory town and all, that we might have some kind of immunity to it, but apparently not. It does spread from human to Tory, unfortunately. I always think coronavirus sounds like a character from Willy Wonka, and its official name, COVID-19, sounds like some early 90s rave dance act. I think most working class people, like me, try and have a laugh in the face of adversity and like a bit of black humour, so with that in mind, here's a few examples. Now this one tickled me. You know shit's hitting the fan when people are panic buying Michael Bolton CDs. Although, if you're not old enough to know who Michael Bolton is, that one probably won't be that funny. And the same goes for this one. A Corona pop van wearing a face mask. And here's another one for anybody over 40. Meant out to my teenage daughter, but it made me laugh. And then there's this one from Asterix the Gaul cartoon. Apparently there was a character called Coronavirus in it, which I never knew. And of course, you get the Guardian asking all the important questions, like, can orgies survive the age of the coronavirus? And look at this one. Apparently masturbation helps your immune system, so that'll give all the wankers around Leigh a good start. Anyway, enough with the joking around, let's talk serious. Now, I've been watching this coronavirus thing since it kicked off in China, like 2 months ago, yeah? And really, with hindsight, when we saw them rush building that hospital for 8,000 people, was it? And they built it in 6 days. That should have been a warning sign, really, a warning signal. And we didn't really pay attention, did we, about how bad it could be. And then it spread to Italy and Iran, and they didn't manage to contain it at all, really. I mean, it went to China first, and then it went to South Korea, and them 2 countries closed down really strictly on movements and stuff, and they've kind of contained it. But once it got into them areas and went into Europe and Iran, it's really, they've lost control of it, really, if I'm honest. And yeah, so it's not very good at all. And then of course the virus spreads all around the world, and then it comes to your country and people start panic buying. I mean, I went to Asda the other day, and all toilet rolls had gone. I mean, don't ask me why toilet rolls are the like in thing to be hoarding, because I don't know, is it going to become the new currency if everything collapses? I don't know. But anyway, toilet rolls have run out. Hand soap, hand wash, I mean, I can understand that a bit. And then pasta's been sold out, rice is gone. What else is gone? Milk, the long life milk. There were no tomatoes in. I mean, you know, a few basics now, people have started panic buying. And probably because they're seeing the stock market reacting as well. I mean, the stock market's going crazy. Prices are tumbling all across the world. I mean, let's be honest, I think this coronavirus, it's bad if I'm honest. So I'll tell you what I know about the virus. Apparently there's 2 versions of it, and Italy seems to have the worst version, which isn't good. The symptoms, they can range completely from people who show hardly any symptoms at all, and that's not very good because they could go around virtually never knowing they've had it and pass it to thousands of people. But then on the other extreme, you're getting people who are getting real bad complications, and especially if you've already got underlying illnesses already. And a lot of people in the 70s and 80s have been popping the clogs, which isn't a good sign. We keep getting told face masks are not needed, and that's rubbish, really. I think they're telling us that because they know there's not enough of them, and I think they're scared people will panic buy them, and they're going to need them for people working in hospitals and stuff like that. Now, personally, I'd rather them be honest and just tell us that, because I'd understand and I'd say, yeah, fair enough. If like people working in hospitals and people who are really ill need them first, let them have them. But it seems like they're just being dishonest to me. They won't tell you the truth. Face masks, if you can get them, they are very good to help and protect from it. And now it looks like our country's moving from a contained phase into a delay phase. Now, a contain phase is exactly what it says. You're trying to contain the virus, stop it spreading. In China, they ended up having to seal off a whole city to contain it, but it looks like it might have worked. Now here, they're basically telling us, the government, that we've gone beyond that point, and now they're just going to try and delay its spread and make it as slow as possible. So what they're trying to do is flatten the curve. If you look at this graph here, it shows how if you don't contain the virus, you'll get so many cases that it overwhelms your healthcare system. So the goal is to try and slow down the spread of this virus over several months, or as many months as possible, so this doesn't happen. What he's basically trying to avoid is the exponential growth of the virus. Unfortunately, I think we're well beyond that point in this country. And yesterday, Boris Johnson said outright that a lot of people are going to die from this virus, and I didn't find that very reassuring, if I'm honest. And not only have you got the virus to contend with, you've also got stock markets crashing all over the world, which is probably even a bigger worry. Record losses, supply chains being hit, job losses, knock-on effects. I mean, look at this yesterday, what happened. Federal Reserve pumped $500 billion into the system. And if you look at this graph here, it shows there was a slight spike, and then 20 minutes later, all them gains had been lost again. So $500 billion didn't make any difference. So what's the next step? They've decided they're going to pump in $1.5 trillion into the system. Now, $1.5 trillion could pay off all the student debt in America. But no, instead of using the money that way, they could pay off everybody's debts, or well, all the student loan debts, and that would recapitalise the banking system. Instead of doing that, they're just literally giving $1.5 trillion to the banks to basically cover the losses they're going to lose. I mean, that's just socialism for corporations. Anyway, I think there's one thing we can all agree on. We're definitely living through interesting times now we're a Tory town. Thanks for watching.